Hi, welcome to Bookwood. Hi, I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. In case we haven't met before, my name is Mashou and I create bookish and journal related content over here on YouTube. Welcome in my TBRathon vlog. It is officially a school vacation for 2 months during the summer, and so I've come out into the woods so that my kids can play and that I can have some peace for reading. The book I'll be reading for this month's TBRathon session is a book that has no English translation. It is called Si les chats pouvaient parler, If the Cats Could Talk. And it is, as asked, a contemporary book. It is also a mystery, a cozy mystery to be exact. And we needed a book written by an author from a country that's not our own, or set in a country that's not our own. I hit both of those. This author is Italian, and the book is set in Italy. And we also needed a book with vivid colors on the cover. I think it's very clear that this book has a lot of vivid covers. This book is the second one in let's say a series, but you can read them all by themselves. And we are following in this book a bookshop owner who has a bookstore that only sells mystery books, and they have a book club over there. And together with the members, he solves mysteries. In the first one, he was approached by the police to do so. And in the second one, if I have well understood, they are invited on a cruise around a part of Italy. I will try to look that up and insert a little image of that. And on this cruise ship, there is like a writers' conference going on. And then something happens that this book club will investigate. I really enjoyed the first one. It had some very interesting characters. And I really enjoyed the overall relaxing Italian atmosphere. So I hope that this one will have even more of that, since it's set on a cruise ship. And we'll see. I will come back to you after having read some more. Oh, I like this quote. It says, cats always have the expression of someone who has read Kant and has understood. And it's a quotation of Ronald Bunny. After reading this morning in Le Village du Saule, waiting to pick up Merin from an activity, I can say that I finally made it to the 1/3 mark of this book. And I enjoy it so far. So we are again at the Black Cat Polar or mystery bookshop. And it is not doing very well. It's almost bankrupt, and Marzio is quite in a bad temper, and socially he does not have any good vibes going on as well because of his morosity. But two events on his side make me wonder what they are going to bring for the rest of the book. And the first one is an interview that he has against his will with a journalist for a local newspaper, I think it is. And it's like the cultural piece in the paper, and it's about his bookshop. And then another one is that he meets up with an elderly homeless lady who takes care of like 48 cats, and we got her whole story, like how she became homeless, and it's very, very sad one. But it seems that maybe she also will have some role to play in the future events. I don't know, we'll see. And then we are also following the point of view of a crime author who is in his 60s, and he is the author of a very popular series. You could say it's like Agatha Christie or someone like that. He a lot use references to George Simenon, who is a Belgian mystery writer. He is the father of Inspector Maigret. And I read a book for him back in November when we did Do You Read Belgium. I'll try to link it like up there or in the comments. We'll see where I found the place for it. But he is... when we meet him, he is learning about a secret that might change whole his life. And we don't know what this secret is. So it's brought up several times, but we don't know what it is about. And he is entering a meeting room where he is about to sign a contract that puts him on a cruise ship for 20 days. Not, I want to say 2 weeks, but it's 20 days. And he's going to finish writing the book he's working on there. And there will be like in every stop press conferences and meetups with readers, but also like talks about several subjects. And he agrees to do so, but he, in his inner monologue, says that it will be his last book, that something is going to happen to him, that probably this is going to make someone wanting to kill him. And in the aftermath of that, we will have an actor who plays his character, who is very nervous because, well, he might lose his job. And that confirms itself when our author says, well, this will be my last book. I quit after this one. And it puts quite an uproar in the edition house because it seems that they are in very deep debt, and that he is like the one author that could have saved it all, because they could be taken over by an American edition house, but they would absolutely want this author in the portfolio, and it might be that he's not there. And we'll leave at the 1/3 mark. The last sentence is from a lady working in that house who did quite some elbowing to go from the basic lowest job to being quite high in the hierarchy. And she said like, well, nobody is more dangerous than a woman who has nothing left to lose. So now I'm very intrigued to read the rest of this book, and I hope that I will be doing at least 1/3 of the reading today, and then I will have to go over the weekend and read a little bit tomorrow as well. But then what I've been preparing for Saturday, what took me way more time than I thought, well, it was worth it. So I'm not going to be sad about that. I'll see you in a while. We're back at one of my favorite places to come and relax, which is at the mill, and it's a beautiful garden. And before I am going to start reading the last third of If the Cats Could Speak by Piergiorgio Puluxi, I want to update you a little bit on the second third that I read without really filming, because I read like a chapter here and a chapter there. I have been catching up a little bit with the work in the house and the admin I had to do, and taking like short breaks to read a few pages. And this second half was, or the second third was a little bit less promising than I hoped. Not bad, but I was like, we are going to go really into the action of it all, and that didn't really happen. We continued on following Marzio and his declining bookshop. We will see how he gets approached to be a part of this cruise, and how he at first completely refuses to do so, but then ends up doing it anyways, because his employee decided to quit because the job wasn't stable enough anymore, and because the old cat lady told him that he should do that before ending up as she is. We will also like continue following along the other actors at the author's side, but it stays a little bit more vague, and we will end up getting on the boat and having the first evening where, of course, Marzio again lashes out, and this is not taken well. So basically he has to leave the boat the next morning when they come to a new port. But during the night the murder happens, and so the boat is stuck at sea, and he is promoted to be his police friend's assistant, because he could take a +1 on this cruise, and of course he took the police officer because he thought he could need some vacation, but also because he felt he didn't feel things right. So he was like, you gotta see, I'm gonna get on that boat and somebody's going to get killed. And of course that's exactly what happens. So we have like lightly started doing the first observations, doing the first interviews, which didn't give much information. And I hope to get cozy over here, have my kids play, and finish up the reading of this book, because it's taking for me way too long, and now I really want to see where this is going. I finished it. I don't really know how I feel about it, but I must certainly did enjoy the reading of this book. Once we started the cruise and the investigation, I felt the book became very much more interesting than the first part leading up to those events. I guess that first part has also some information or some setting that will let us give the author the opportunity to continue like the background story of the different people involved in a next book. What struck me was that very regularly was mentioned Agatha Christie, but also George Simenon and Gaston Leroux, which are very classic crime authors. George Simenon being a Belgian author, the father of Maigret, and then I think I've already said that now that I'm saying it out loud. And then Gaston Leroux, who is the writer of the series Rouletabille. I have read one of his books for the TBRathon. I'll link it somewhere. I really like Gaston Leroux. Most people know him from The Phantom of the Opera. And so seeing those classical authors coming back really also gave the understanding that the solving of the crime in this book is an homage to these authors. We are in a closed setting on this cruise ship, which is, of course, a homage to Agatha Christie. And we have on this cruise ship absolutely no modern ways to investigate the events that happened. And so we are in a very classic, only by deduction, solving the crime situation. I really like the way the characters interact, especially Mauricio and Flavio, which is the police inspector. And then we have a very interesting cast of people who are suspects and who have all a bunch of motivations to be the author of this murder, and they all really much interconnect. And then we have at the end like the typical Poirot or Christie reveal with everybody seated down and the detective going through the story and the motivations, talking about everybody, and then ending on the suspect or the murderer. And I have the same problem with this as I have in all those books. There is like some information that we only get in this reveal, so there is not really a possibility of guessing who the murderer is. It was also something very unexpected, so that's fun. It's fun that you don't know and to have the surprise, or at least I think that's fun. But I also like to investigate together with the detective, and when you don't have all the information of all the thought that goes in that, then it's a little bit sad because you just can't. So it's a little bit double of a feeling. But overall, I enjoyed this book. I really enjoy the quite relaxed and the nice life of the Italian way. I think it's a representation of Italy. I feel on a holiday when I read this book. And I've never been to Italy, but we did do an Italian weekend not that long ago. So yeah, but I spent my summers down at the Mediterranean at the other side, at south of France, on the border with Spain. So it's a little bit the same ambiance, I guess. I had a good time reading this book. It is translated from Italian to other languages. You could read the story, the murder mystery in itself, without having read the first one. But if you want to follow around the background story, then you should definitely check also out the first one. I hope you enjoy following along the reading of this book for TBRathon. If you are curious to see what other books I read, or for TBRathon or for other moments in other readathons, then I will be glad to hang out a little bit more with you. You can subscribe to this channel, follow this channel, so that you can easily find it back. You can also turn on notifications, which will let you know that I have posted a new video, and you could like it so that other people can discover this video and my channel. I hope that we will meet again, and that you will have some nice reading coming up. See you soon!